we'll move on to obviously the biggest game, probably the biggest game of this week. Well, whatever, we can talk about that too. Bills and Jets. I was at a wrestling show, so I was watching on a little phone in the back.
I was watching that game here with a friend John and boyfriend.
Yep. So wow, Josh Allen
looked real bad.
Not only did he look horrible, the next day it comes out got a UCL problem.
Yeah.
They're gonna monitor it, see where it is.
He was making the same kind of decisions that he was against Green Bay, which weren't good decisions. Just straight up weren't good decisions.
And with Josh, talk to me for a second.
You even went with the stash. I love the stash.
How do we? But also, the Jets are a lot better. I've said it many times. Their draft was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
They had a lot of nice.
They have a very good defensive line.
Picking up DJ Reed, so now all of a sudden you got Sauce, you got Reed. All of a sudden you look at the secondary and you're like, "Ooh, maybe I don't want to pass against this." But I think a big problem with the Buffalo Bills, they can't run the ball.
No, and they can't run. They can't run the ball, and they're not very good at stopping the run. That's the two weaknesses on Buffalo.
And it's probably
the only weakness.
And I'm trying to think I've said this the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to think of a team where they're like, hey, we could block the passer, but that running stuff is not. It just seems backwards.
Yeah.
They
Singletary's even having a career year.
Singletary's playing well. You got Cook. They got rid of Moss. They bring in Naheem Hines.
Yeah, which we said was kind of a wash.
Which was kind of a wash because I don't really see him as a huge upgrade to James Cook because I think Cook is fine. He's a rookie, but it's. I just don't know. Excuse me. I just don't know about the Buffalo Bills. They're going to win more games than they lose, and they're going to be an elite team just because this guy here is pretty good. Yeah, as long as his right arm's doing okay. And they play pretty good defense, but it's like this has always been their thing. It's like they just can't against the Chiefs. They can't run when you can't move the ball on the ground. You don't need an all-world running back, which I've argued to the death. But you got to be able to control the ball, whether it be very short passes or
screen plays,
getting your 3 or 4 yards against the tough teams. And the Jets,
quick outs, quick slants.
The Jets watching that game were like, you know what? We're going to play good defense. We are going to run the ball, and we're not going to make Wilson make any tough decisions. And
which is starting to seem like the thing you got to do with
Wilson. Right, because Wilson, the more and more I watch this guy, I'm like,
he's scary to watch.
He's getting a little nerve-wracking. But the Jets are going to win games with that formula, and the Bills are going to lose close games with that formula. I think they're both very good teams. I still think the Bills are the AFC champions. I don't know about champions, but I think it's still them versus the Chiefs.
They're definitely among the crown jewels of
Bills
that
and Chiefs is going to be the rematch.
Well, the hand gestures was a
whatever. Maybe some people that might be how it is, but I just don't. I don't know. I watched it. There was some panic. The elbow is obviously an issue.
Yeah,
if he can't throw it deep, if he's got the bum elbow, we're gonna have to watch out.
Maybe he starts throwing left-handed.
But all of a sudden, the Jets look pretty good. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the Jets look pretty good, and they.
You see Josh Allen out there hawking it with the left.
What's going to be interesting is to see where they finish this year. It'll be interesting if they bring in a veteran quarterback to get them over the hump because. This is their prime. This is going to be prime because they are not paying a quarterback a lot of money.
No.
They are loaded on offense. They could use some offensive line help, but we'll see. Becton has kind of been the guy that everybody's like, hey, when he comes back, he's got to prove it though now because he's been hurt.
Have they been saying that for 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, a few years at least since they've drafted him. They're like, he's going to be the left tackle. He's going to be the stud. Mm-hmm. Their defense added a lot of pieces through the draft, through free agency. I like where they're going. Still not worried about the Bills unless Josh, your right arm, is it okay? What are we doing here?
I wish we could move the mic. I'm gonna move the mic.
Yeah. Can you talk into the mic, please?